I haven't wanted to say anything on this high end of a level because there is a part of me that honestly still wants to have a pleasant outcome in the future. If by some miracle I was able to, get somewhere with this content creation and actually be able to grow a decent sized audience and things like that, I would still very much like to meet certain people. That being said, I'm gonna have to chuck that out the window for right now because this absolutely is annoying as all hell. So obviously, you know that there's credit card companies in Japan, or at least that does business with Japan, like MasterCard, Visa, and whatever. They are trying to obviously censor Japan and their content when it comes to games and anime and basically anything that they really just deem inappropriate. Obviously, and even worse so, they're basically trying to censor shit at the source. Which means that, when they start actually making a show or making a game or whatever, now basically they're going to just start censoring it during production, meaning that there isn't going to be a copy of something that goes out to like the other parts of the world where it's censored and Japan got the good clean version that is just untouched. No, it's basically going to be censored from the get-go, and that's just how it goes, right? And obviously when you hear that, it's not great, right? And that just is completely devastating when it comes to Japanese culture and a lot of the entertainment and things of the sort like that, right? And as we have obviously seen in the past, this ain't nothing new. They've been trying to do this shit for a long ass time. The UN even recently tried to go out their way to censor Japan and do the things that they want to do, talking about the content is unfit, how it's not necessarily something that people should give a shit about, and how it should be something that should basically be wiped out in a way that fits them. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I'm obviously someone that is not for censorship. I like to see shit when it's prime and pristine in the way it was presented originally, right? That's just how I am. And my biggest thing when it comes down to all of this is that obviously people don't necessarily at times know that this type of stuff happens, and or why it happens, and or basically just like seeing this stuff happen, and then no one really does anything about it. And it sucks. It genuinely does. And the only people that really talk about these issues is your people like, Chibi Reviews, or people like Rev, or people of the sort that is like that, right? That obviously will cover this type of news because they are known to do so. And that's kind of what they always have done, right? My biggest, fattest issue with any moment where this stuff happens, or when you have things where it literally jeopardizes anime or anything in the entertainment side of things that we like, where you have big ass influencers that obviously exist within these sort of fields and within these sort of spaces, no one says a damn word. No one says a word. Everybody else on this level, or on a bit slight higher level, they will say something. But anybody else that's way obviously bigger, people very much know who the hell they are, and everybody knows their name, they never say anything. And it's so effing weird. It is by far the most baffling thing. Like, I'm gonna keep it very much a stack with you. You should have people of that list, of that high tier category of YouTubers and content creators, talking about the censorship issue and the MasterCard's nonsense of all the censorship shit going on, and yet they have not said a damn word. And it's weird. And these are supposed to be the same people that love the country of Japan, and the same people that's supposed to give a shit about the country of Japan. I find that baffling. I'm not necessarily gonna lie. Like, you got people like The Anime Man, you have people like Connor, you have people like Giguk and Sitsnap and Akidiris and all these other people, and it's like, when it comes down to literally any other topic of Japan, they got it. But when it comes down to something serious and something that actually should be talked about and that can actually affect anime and manga and things of the sort that built their effing careers, for whatever reason, that shit's just not there. That shit is not talked about. It's not put into perspective. And they talk about like whatever other cool thing Japan has, or whatever other cultural thing Japan has. Yet the one thing that could devastate the damn culture over there, oh, let's not talk about that shit, right? And maybe it's because they already got their success. Maybe it's because they already got their money and all that shit. They're doing other things. They don't necessarily care. Still, at the end of the day, they're maybe not forced to do this stuff, but still, you should bring it up. You should at least bring it up or talk about it in some shape and form. And I don't mean talk about it on Trash Taste on that damn podcast. I mean talk about it individually on your own channels, because that's probably where most of your people watch you at. Like, let's just keep it very much a stack. Very few people probably watch combined on just that one podcast place. When we talk about like the individual channels, they probably watch them in general as individuals on their channels more than they probably do there. Just gonna keep it a stack. Like, you have been here for years, probably decades at this point when it comes down to it. You have this whole thing where you're an influencer, where you influence the public to tell them that this is something, that this is going down, and they can obviously change how people think and change how people do things. You have the power to influence people. Effing use it. There is a way of how you can go about certain things, and you don't necessarily utilize it to the fullest ability. I have never understood this when it comes to bigger content creators, when it comes down to things that they probably should get involved in, right? Like, that's just equivalent with the gaming industry right now. I promise you, if you had Markiplier or Jacksepticeye come through and actually talk about some of the crazy things that go on in the gaming industry that obviously is bad and obviously shouldn't be around and obviously suck, and that a lot of people don't take seriously, which you should take seriously, I promise you, shit would honestly at least be talked about a bit more, get changed up potentially maybe, and or at least exposed a lot more when it comes down to it, right? And even if you say, well, they're just YouTubers, they're not gonna necessarily do much. Have you not been watching the news? Have you not been watching the news? Have you not been seeing how many times mass media, especially in the West, have been shitting on YouTubers and shit, and getting pissed off at YouTubers and shit for calling shit out when it needs to be called out? Like, have you not seen it? Don't come to me with that bullshit. I know that's a lie. So at the end of the day, they got the power to do it. They just choose not to. And instead, they just have Kaha Shibuya on their damn podcast or whatever, and essentially talk about how she, I guess, sucking virtual dick, which, why not, I suppose? She good at it, but damn, why not why not anything else? Like, there's literally tons of other things that we could talk about other than that. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, talking about getting a blowjob from Kaha Shibuya. I want a blowjob from Kaha Shibuya, but at the end of the day, like, there is 5 million other things that is way more important right now that we need to be bringing up. For whatever reason, like, anytime moments like this happen, we don't get any type of like aid or any type of like talks when it comes to these bigger creators, especially again in this instance when it comes to the anime community and the anime space, when it comes to the censorship that is at play. Hell, we had to get Asmongold to come through to talk about the damn translations when it comes down to, you know, things of anime and things of that sort. A problem that's been going on for years upon years upon years. Someone that wasn't even in the anime space that damn hard, not even an anime creator, came through and exposed that, yeah, there is a lot of BS going on within the translation side of things and the localization side of things. We had to go get him, someone that wasn't even in the space, someone that wasn't even a popular anime, someone that's not even considered a popular anime YouTuber, not even in that space technically. So they can come in and then they, you know, helped out and actually expose what's going on before literally anybody else at the top could do so. That is baffling to me. How did someone else from a different space come through, just basically took over your shit, and then essentially just assumed dominance and left, and didn't necessarily look back for 2 seconds? That makes absolutely no sense. Again, I'm not saying they are forced to do so to make content like this, to talk about serious issues, but if you have that power to do so, to change shit, why don't you? I don't understand that. That is utterly baffling. Like, you got your success, you have your money. No one's going to shit on you or take away your shit when it comes down to it, because you got it already. You made your success. No one cares. You'll be fine. So just go ahead and do it. It's not hurting any damn body. I don't understand it. You can say all this other stuff about Japan, how cool it is, and how all this other stuff when it comes to its culture and things, how much you appreciate it, but when it's in actual danger, or when things are actually sucking mad dick over there, you don't want to bring it up? Why? What is like the purpose of that? It's so weird and strange to me. And honestly, I feel this more heavily, especially with the Anime Man more specifically. And I am someone that has watched the Anime Man for years before they started going on to do less anime content, right? The reason why hell I even started doing anime content and just having a channel of my own is because of this person. And when it comes down to it, it still baffles my mind when you have situations like this and then they don't bring it up. And it's like, you do realize this is part of the reason why, if not the major reason, why you are even in the position that you are in. And yet you don't cover this shit? What is actually going on here? What is the sauce here? Did I lose the plot? Like, am I the one that's tripping? Like, what's actually happening here? I'm very much confused. But we can talk about virtual dick though. But that's just, it's just weird to me though, right? Again, this is the reason why for the past 5 years plus I've been trying to work on this channel, get something going, and trying to advocate for newer people to get their channels, you know, growing and blowing up. Because if we had that type of thing going on, I promise you, we could actually get some better things going for the community as a whole. We could get some things going on better for, you know, just different things of entertainment in general. Because I promise you, if they're not going to talk about it, bitch, I would hop on this shit super fast. I already do. I hop on many topics that, you know, they would never cover. Right? You obviously can point out one major one I talk about on this channel tons of times and have no shame about, because why not? They're not going to talk about it, so might as well I should do so, you know? And if I was bigger, best believe it will be a glorious sight to see, and best believe we could probably change some perspectives and perceptions on how certain things could be regarding the topics of censorship or anything else that is, you know, within the scope of anime or gaming or entertainment or things of the sort like that, because it shouldn't have to be this way. But it's just frustrating, it's completely annoying, and it doesn't make a lot of sense why things are the way it is. And the fact that people have these powers of influence and then they don't use it, it's even more dumb. But that's really what I wanted to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and we're out. Also follow me on socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi, the Cash App is available as well. Until then, it's WJ, sign off. Have a blessed day.